you all today? I am doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. It is a beautiful morning out here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Getting my steps in somewhat slowly, but hopefully I'll pick up the pace. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Over the hump. Got over the hump yesterday. Whew. Just checking my surroundings. Hello, Tamika Davis. How are you? Thanks so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And I do appreciate your ongoing and continued support of me and others. But of course, you're with me. I do appreciate your being here each and every time that you're able to be here, which is like every time. I do appreciate it. So, as I do most days when I come out here, try to find some type of other news besides talking about budgets, money, etc. So this morning I saw the news, updated news on the make sure I get her name right, I wrote it down. The 2-year-old that sadly was found dead, Winter Cole Smith, and I couldn't get past it. Hello, Joshua Gabriel, how are you? So, from the story that I read, what they found her body late last night, well, Wednesday, yeah, late last night. I guess they had a press conference. I didn't click on to listen to that. But in the story, it said that the person that they had, the suspect, is the boyfriend of the mother to Winter Cole Smith. And he is being charged with 8 counts in this horrific thing. I did read those, so I want to repeat them. This is just beyond horrific, sad. I just don't, well, I'm going to go there. Uh, this, this is just beyond crazy, upsetting, pick an adjective. I just, wow, I'm somewhat lost for words, but I'll make it, hopefully. I don't know, but I think that sometimes when these cases are, I, these are my words, my terms, my phrases are somewhat solved, they're resolved. They got the person that did it. It goes off of the radar for a lot of the media, mainstream, etc. And this is where I appreciate independent news, watching and listening to independent news. And of course, it will move on past that also into. But when, in this case for me, some of the YouTube content creators are talking about this story and others regarding children and other things in more detail, it is helpful because sometimes the content creators may be in that state, city, etc. They hear things, they hear the word on the street that authorities may or may not have. That is where I appreciate it. And of course, the content creators on here talking about sad stories, these stories. Yeah. So, some hurt is beyond repair. And I am sure that at various points in our life, we can attribute something that we have done or gone through as the worst thing to have ever had happen to us. Like when you're young and you get your first, in quotes, boyfriend, love interest, or something other like that. You might be 13 or 14 or 15 or 16, and then it dissolves, goes away for whatever reason. You're thinking as a young lady, in this case, and sometimes for the guys, oh wow, I don't know whether I'm going to make it. But as we know, we managed to move on past that and grow up, learn a whole lot of things, and get another boyfriend. And eventually, hopefully, that is what a person wants: get married, have kids, all of that good stuff. But there are some things in this life that are beyond repair. I think some people are just managing the pain or the hurt with different events, like the loss of a child. I don't know how anyone would get over that. I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine. Maybe if you've been married for a long time and you find out something horrific that your spouse did, and you can't, in your brain, forgive that person, forgive your spouse. That could be the case. And sometimes it may be an object or objects that it may be beyond the hurt or the pain. I'm not equating this to someone losing their life or anything, but like if you had a fire in your home and you're old school and you had actual black and white photos and Polaroids and all that good stuff, and the pictures of your kids were lost, and you hear people say it, most of the time it's ladies, after the fire has happened: oh, I had the pictures of my kids, all of my photos, etc. Of course they had their kids, their spouse, other family members, etc. But sometimes I believe some hurt can't be repaired. And losing your child in any and every which way, and my brain, maybe it's my mom brain, is one of those. And like I said before, I think that some people, as time goes on, they manage the pain, and you can see, and I guess you can see it outwardly, but inwardly, inside, some people may be dying a slow death. One never knows, but I just can't imagine something like that. But in the story, like I mentioned before, it said that Winter Cole Smith, her mom, was in, the boyfriend of the mom committed this horrific act. And we have to be mindful. And this is just in general. I have mentioned this before in other things. We have to be mindful of our relationships with others, especially when we are dating. The story did not say that they were married. It is my hope that they would have reported that if they were married. That does not make it any better. And we know sometimes that these stories, they leave out some, maybe a lot of information, and we have to be careful with that. Someone is here and they don't appear to have a dog in their car, so great, that's a good thing. We have to be careful and mindful when we're out here dating, just in general, whether there are children involved or not. And God knows if we have children involved, it needs to be, our antenna needs to be up, up, up. We have to make sure that we are vetting people more carefully. And if you just want to date, date and don't have people move into your home. I don't know what their habitation situation was. I'm just saying, you don't have to have people move into your home where you have where your children are. I'm not saying this could have been avoided had that been the case. So I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about relationships and going forward with some of the young folks that we know, our own children, cousins, nieces and nephews, etc. People that are out here on YouTube listening at any and all times. We just have to be careful, careful, careful when we are in relationships and we have children that cannot talk or speak for themselves. We're not in. It's a whole lot. God knows. Just please be careful when you are out here dating people. You're dating and you have small children. It is probably not a good idea to have, people around your children when the situation gets more serious and after you get married, then possibly. But having them around your children or access to your children 24/7, not a good thing. We have to be careful out here when we are dating young ladies and the men too. But we see that the burden of child rearing mostly falls to the mom. There are cases where it is the dad that's doing it solely. Of course, single motherhood has been around forever. But we just have to be careful with relationships. And we don't need to be so fast to want to get or be in a relationship either. Because we have just come out of a situation to now where we are a single mom. We need to take a lot of time to heal, think about what happened in that relationship, and try not to make those mistakes again. Get counseling, therapy if needed, and then just look and listen around your friends, other people's relationships. Some of the things, if you have children, what are some things you should not do when you go into a relationship? Google it, do something. If you don't have anyone that you can't talk to or feel comfortable talking to, etc., get your money right, get your finances right, so that you don't think that you need to have someone else's income that way, i.e. getting a boyfriend. Because I'm talking to ladies mostly, get a boyfriend so that you can pay your rent, your bills, etc., whatever's going on, and then you're leaving your kid open to whatever this is because you need the extra income. And I'm sure that there's a whole lot of things that go on, when these relationships start up, why, etc. Could be a whole host of things. But you don't want to find yourself in a bad situation. But prayers to, of course, the soul, Winter Cole-Smith. She was a beautiful young lady, a beautiful, beautiful little girl. And to the mom and the family, it is a lot. And then the story also stated that the boyfriend had stabbed the mom. I don't know they did not say what her situation was, whether she was in the hospital, had gotten out of the hospital, or any of that, or the severity of the stab wounds or anything like that. They didn't say that she had passed or anything. That is what the story said. That was from yesterday in the Lansing State Journal. If you want to go and look at the story I wrote her name down. That's Kathleen. Let's see. No, Crystal. I know it's a K. Crystal Nurse is the author of the story, of the updated story. That was from Wednesday, last night around 10 p.m. or so. I am sure there's more information out there now. But like I said prior, Sometimes when these cases are solved slash resolved, they know who did it, and there's a lot of evidence pointing in that direction. And sadly, in this case, Winter Cole Smith's body has been found. It's over and done with, and now it's just solely gathering, of course, the evidence and getting it off to court, etc. This is sad. So relationships do matter, with or without kids. But God knows if you have kids and you're bringing other people around them, and you're doing it all the time, and you're having a lot of times to go on trust. Especially, of course, if you're putting your kid in daycare, you're trusting that also in too. You do some vetting. Some people do some vetting. Just have to be careful, very careful out here in these streets, in relationships, all of that good stuff. I can't, the glare. Let's see if I can make out something. I know Tamika Davis was here. It's Whitney. Hello, how are you? Thanks so much for being here. Hello, Wellness with Frugal Mama. How are you? Yes, it is so sad. So sad about Winter Cole Smith. Whew. Please make sure you go check out each other's channel. I'm going to get up off of this live. I'm going to continue to walk, but that threw me. That just threw me this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Go check out Wellness with Frugal Mama. It's Whitney. Tamika Davis, thank you for your support. And she does have one video up. Go check that out and click on it. And if you like the one video, you can still subscribe. She has subscribers. Wellness with Frugal Mama. Let's go check her out exercising Monday through Friday. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. Go check her out. Daily exercise. Very beginner friendly. Very beginner friendly. And the Family Dollar. Her hauls showing us how to coupon and get the best deals using the digital coupon, $5 off of 25 Wellness with Frugal Mama. And it's Whitney. I'm a family member already, and I went to your page the other day. Her and her family out there in the park. Some park with a lake, a trail, enjoying their time out there in nature. That's It's Whitney. Go check out her channel. Please be careful out here with these relationships. Take care of yourself. Do your vetting, or just stay alone. Be alone, and in that alone time, get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get your finances together, so that, like I mentioned earlier, you're not having to, I need to find someone so we can go half on the rent, mortgage, the bills, etc. Put you and your children in a bad spot. Please, we have to think more about the children that we created. I'm not talking about someone that they got pregnant some way that wasn't consensual. I am not talking about any of those cases at all, period. I'm talking about those that had consensual relations. Please think about your children. It's not about you anymore. And you want to ensure that your children are as safe as possible, whatever they are doing in the home, and you have somewhat limited, very little or zero control when they are in the school system or at the daycare. Of course, you can pull them out after you find out something has happened, because you may or may not be seeing the signs. If you have a child that cannot talk to where you can understand, that's problematic within itself. So what you just have to be very careful. Very careful. Get your situation, your financial situation. And most of the time it's that. It could be other things too. Yeah, we got relationships with people, not talking about this, not talking boyfriend or girlfriend, but relationships with people that are crazy, out of this world too, that's going on. But your main focus is you and your children, your family that you need to feed, clothe, and shelter. So if you need to get your pennies together, right, do that. Be alone. Get focused. Maybe get a new group of friends. I don't know. You don't have to have someone in your life just to say, oh, I got a man. You don't need that. You don't need that at the expense of people having access to your children 24/7 and a whole host of other craziness. You don't need that. You don't need them for the money or the child care that they will provide when you're at work or when you need to go do something. You don't need that. Just a lot. I am going to get off of here and continue to walk till I get to 30 minutes. But yeah, I'll just do a silent live here on out, or maybe just pop in with something if I think about it. Let me turn the thing around. Doing this, being silent for once, as my husband might say. Oh, I'm gonna turn this back around. There's a car leaving. I don't want the information on here. I do appreciate you all joining me. Hello, Sheet. We here. How are you? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here. I was just doing a little silent live at the end because I had jabbered on and on earlier. How are you doing today, Sheet? How's the family? I was just talking about the 2-year-old. Her name is Winter Cole Smith. Her, sadly, her body was found. She was kidnapped by the boyfriend of the mother, and sadly, yeah. So yeah, that is what I was talking about earlier. And the title, Some Hurt is Beyond Repair. That is probably in my brain, well, not probably, in my brain, the number one. So yeah, that is what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to turn the camera back around and be silent to finish up this 30-minute walk. Please, I'm going to turn it around. Please be safe out here, folks. It is very hot here in Maryland, where I am located. Please make sure that you stay hydrated. If you're able to stay inside in the air conditioning and the cool, please do so. Turn on your fans if you don't have central heat and air in your home, which I grew up without. Sometimes my husband thinks I'm crazy that I'm in there. I was like, I got this fan right here. I can turn it on if I get too hot. But nonetheless, please stay hydrated, stay cool. Like I mentioned and have been mentioning in my previous lives, if you need to get in your car and go to a place, Walmart, Target, just to walk around, don't do any shopping, just to cool off, then do so. Then do, I guess, if you don't have anything to do. And I know that here in Maryland, I hear on the news where they have cooling centers. Maybe they're just community buildings or state-run properties where people can go and, get some air conditioning to cool off, etc. That type of thing. Yeah. Glad you're doing good, Sheet. Glad you're doing good. Yeah. So that was pretty much the thing that I wanted to talk about this morning. Winter Cold Smith. And that information is from the Lansing State Journal from a reporter named Crystal Nurse. And that was the information that was updated last night around 10 p.m. or so. There may be other information that is out here, and you can go and Google that story and other information. And like I mentioned at the beginning, of course, when these stories are pretty much resolved, then the media moves on from it. And like I stated earlier, I'm glad that we have YouTube out here that people can talk about it a little bit more, add some other things in on it that will be helpful. There may be people that are in the know beyond what the authorities know and have gathered that can give other information. And then, of course, the thing is to learn something from it. This is not the first time that something as horrific as this has happened to anyone. And this was a young black 2-year-old, a 2-year-old. And we know that a lot of times things such as this aren't covered. Because the people involved are black. That's just it. We have to value our own lives and know that our lives are important. We can't be around here saying Black Lives Matter and then, okay, now that's over, we got the money and ta-da, let's go. That's too much there. But nonetheless, like I stated, we have to learn something from this and other situations that happen in our own community and in others, of course, just in life. And your parents are a great setup for this. They're with you from 0 to 18. So we need to be pouring into our kids at all times, as I have mentioned numerous times here before. But with regards to this, and we see this quite a bit, the story didn't say that they were married, called the person that did these horrific acts the boyfriend. So lots of lessons to be learned, and I am sure there's more stuff to it that possibly may not come out since the case has been resolved. But like I mentioned before, if you need to be alone, just be alone. If you have children, my God, just having anyone having 24/7 access to them. In a lot of cases, irregardless of their age, not a good thing. Not a good thing. Be alone. Take the time to get yourself together, get your mind together, do something for yourself and your children. Get your money together. And I get it. Not a good thing though, because the thing that may be problematic, which I'm talking about the money, your finances, you don't want to be getting a boyfriend so you can have someone to lay beside at night, whatever, or to help you with the bills, and then they have access to your children. We really have to start thinking maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of the lessons that we can learn from all of this. Hello, Trina's Motivation. How are you? Thanks so much for being here. Oh, good morning, Miss April. How are you? How are you? Ooh. Thank you so much for being here, Miss April. Just talking about the Winter Cole Smith story, but now I'm on the relationship part. I did a diatribe earlier, but yeah, we have to be careful. People out here, we have to be careful with just relationships in general, and then relationships where people have access to our children, i.e. they're living in the home, have access to the home. Of course, most of the time when we are there, our children are there. Just have to be careful. We have to be very careful. Whew. I am going to get off of this live now. Whew. I do appreciate y'all being here. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button as you come in. Thanks to those that made it to the live broadcast, and for those that catch the replay, I do appreciate it. Whew. Okay, my knee is talking to me. All right. Thank you so much. Please stay hydrated and stay cool, people. Stay cool. Take care. Bye-bye.